Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And Donovan Mitchell has debuted the Don Issue 4. So we already, I don't know what it is with Adidas and their shoes, but they leaked their shoes literally a year before it comes out. Like the Don Issue 4 will come out and then the Don Issue 5 will have like all the tech specs and the price and the release date. It's in their catalog actually. Like if you look at their Adidas catalog, it's online and then you can just search it up for next year or the next season or whatever, and it gives you all of the basketball shoes and just like all their like sports, you know. But of course I specialize in basketball, right? So just look there and you can see all of their shoes for the next season. And it's pretty crazy. Like they don't really care, I guess. But you know, I guess Donovan Mitchell has officially like kind of debuted it. He's in the playoffs and now he's wearing it, right? But before we get into the Don Issue 4, well, let's go over the KD15 real quick, right? So we have two new colorways of the KD15. So the very first KD15 colorway that we saw Kevin Durant playing in is this all black colorway with this white swoosh, which looked pretty cool, right? It actually looks very similar to the Kyrie Low 5 in design, right? Besides, I guess, the cage, but the back part looks very, very similar, and the overall silhouette looks very similar as well. I wonder who designs the Kyrie Low, because Leo Chang has been designing the KDs, right? And Leo Chang also designed the Kyries up until the 4, and Ben Nthongkame, I'm sorry, I really know how to pronounce his name, but he's been designing it since the 4, right? So I wonder who designed the KD15. I'm pretty curious on that. Probably Leo Chang though, right? But anyways, we have a new Volt colorway. This Volt colorway looks pretty sick. We have kind of like a multicolor outsole and we have a lot of colors on the swoosh as well, but for the most part everything else is like this Volt color. It looks pretty sick, and the KD15 looks great, especially comparing it to the KD14. I mean, as much as I love the KD14 and how good it performs, it's like one of the best performers ever, just in my personal opinion. I just didn't like how it looked, and also the colorways that came out weren't great either, so that didn't help, right? The only colorway that I liked of the KD14 was the Dream colorway, and I think that's about it. I didn't really even like the On Pearl colorway. But anyways, there's this Volt colorway and also this white colorway with like, what is this color? It's like a gray color, but it seems to have a little bit of a like a red hue to it. I don't know, maybe I'm colorblind or something. And then that plastic piece in the midsole seems to be like an infrared color, right? So this colorway also is pretty clean, but I'm really liking how the shoe is looking overall, right? And of course we have official pictures of the other colorway that Kevin Durant was playing. It's like a navy color, right? With what is this? Like a yellow, more yellow Volt. This is more Volt, right? But this is more like a yellow-ish color, like a pale yellow. So we have an official image of that, and also Kevin Durant playing in it. But also, like, seeing Kevin Durant playing in the shoe, right? So we already know the tech specs of the KD15. It's supposed to be full-length React, right? Okay, full-length React. I'm super excited. And then full-length Zoom Stroll, which is awesome. So the KD14 had full-length Cushioned, which was awesome, but then React, in my opinion, is just way better. But look at all the compression marks on that, right? And I'm a little worried, you know, hopefully it doesn't bottom out too much. I mean, React lasts a really long time, you know, for a foam especially, right? So we'll have to see on that, but you know, there is the KD15. And also shout out to IMBB shoes, but we can see this white and gray colorway already on sale. I'm guessing this is in China, right? And we also have an on foot picture of it as well, and the tongue seems to be like a foam back mesh material. Hopefully it's more like a stretchier type of foam, but yeah, it looks good overall. I'm very, very excited to try it out. Hopefully it'll probably come out soon, right? All right, next we also have another shoe from Adidas that is leaking, and it's the Exhibit B, right? So we have the Exhibit A, which I didn't really like all too much, and now we have the Exhibit B, which this shoe reminds me of what is that wavy shoe that came out, right? Kind of looks like Vans, but I don't think it is, right? It's very, very wavy. That's what it kind of reminds me of. You can see the actual outsole. There are like actual waves in the outsole, which is weird. I feel like you wouldn't want that, right? Because you have less contact with the ground, right? So if you have this part of the shoe kind of like coming up, like you have I guess the midfoot doesn't really come into contact with the ground that much if you're like on your forefoot most of the time, right? I don't know. But anyways, this is the Exhibit B. This looks a lot better. I mean, looking at the actual shoe and the actual picture of it, it doesn't look bad, right? When I first saw it in like the in like the leaked kind of like catalog picture, I was like, yo, this looks so bad. But yeah, the traction looks pretty interesting, right? We have very thin lines, which I don't think will be durable, but hopefully the traction is good. And also it seems to be full length light strike. Well, it says in the text specs here, light strike is super light cushioning designed for explosive movement and next level comfort. It's gonna go for 120 bucks, and the release date is, I guess, August 1st, 2022. So that is another team model that Adidas is gonna be releasing. So stay tuned for that, I guess. And now finally the Don Issue 4. So of course we've had like the tech specs and everything for the Don Issue 4, but to refresh your memory, it is using full-length light strike as well. So light strike, a lightweight and highly responsive midsole material that delivers great cushioning and comfort. The price is 120 bucks. I believe the Don Issue 3 was 110, so they are increasing the price, unfortunately. And I don't know why they're increasing the price. I mean, it's the same exact shoe as the Don Issue 3, right? It's like the tech isn't that much better, you know. It's just light strike and like a, I don't even know what this material is. This material looks to be like a mesh material. So Donovan Mitchell is wearing this like all white colorway, which looks very, very clean. And the eyelets, I believe those are called like aglets, right? The tip of the laces, right? And then also here in the back of the shoe, it says Adidas in like a red font as well. It says Mitchell on the side, and we have the Adidas 3 stripes, kind of like more in the forefoot as well. But also look at this. It looks like a lot of compression, which, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a big dude, right? And he's putting a lot of force into the actual midsole of the shoe as well. So, I mean, if you look at most NBA players, like when they're playing, you see a lot of compression marks, right? But that is a lot, dude. And it doesn't look like light strike, which is pretty interesting. You know, light strike has this kind of like net pattern to it usually, right? So I guess they did decide to change it. Oh no, here in the heel it has that pattern a little bit. It also says Don in the heel as well. And as far as the materials go, here in the heel, it seems to be like a synthetic material. And also in the tip of the toe, we can see some fused material. We have a regular lacing system. And then for the last eyelet, though, we have 3 eyelets. So I guess if you want a little bit more of a snug or tighter fit for the last kind of like eyelet, then I guess you can do that as well. There also seems to be holes in the material in the heel, maybe for better ventilation. But as far as the overall shape of the shoe, right? The overall shape of the shoe looks alright. The heel looks pretty curved, and also the forefoot seems pretty curved as well. I mean, if you guys remember the Don Issue 1, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It wasn't terrible just because it has a pretty flexible midsole. I mean, it's still kind of stiff, but overall it wasn't super stiff like the Jordan 12, right? But look at this. This is a flat shape, and it's a slapper. You know what I mean? So I didn't really like it all too much. And also look at how much it protrudes out, right? So the midsole felt very bulky to me here in the Don Issue 1, and same thing here in the Don Issue 2, right? We have full length bounce in both of these shoes. It's just like there's a lot of padding in the material, which felt very cozy and comfortable. But in my personal preference, I like to have a very minimal feeling shoe, you know what I mean? And the Don Issue 2 was not that, right? But here in the Don Issue 3, they did shed off a lot of bulk and also a lot of weight, right? So here in the Don Issue 1 is pretty heavy, if I remember correctly, like 15 ounces. Yeah, 14.99 ounces, so basically 15 ounces. The Don Issue 2, I think, is a little bit lighter, right? 13.86 ounces, and the Don Issue 3 is like 12, I think. Yeah, 12.03 ounces. So Adidas actually posted the Don Issue 4. And in the caption, it says the lightest ever Don to step onto the court. So it has to be lighter than 12 ounces, right? I mean, 12.5 ounces is around average, so 12 ounces is already light for the Don Issue 3. If it's even lighter than this, then that's great. That's great news, just because how the Don Issue line has started off was pretty bulky and pretty damn heavy. Just because Bounce is a very heavy and very dense foam. Nothing seems to be protruding out like crazy, and also Light Strike is a very light foam, and it definitely looks a lot better than when I first saw it. I mean, when I first saw it, especially in like the catalog, I was like, yo, what is this, right? But seeing the actual shoe on foot, I'm actually starting to like it a little bit more. But this red colorway though, this red colorway looks so bad, you know what I mean? But looking at the actual material, it looks super thin. Like there seems to be no foam at all, like in the tongue, the actual material, and also here in the ankle area, which is pretty different than the Don Issue 1. Don Issue 1 has a lot of foam here in the ankle, same with the 2 and same with the 3 as well. So the 4 is probably going to be very, very minimal. But anyways, tell us your thoughts on the Don Issue 4. What do you guys think of the aesthetics? And also, what do you guys think of the tech? But anyways, that about wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.